Welcome back to Entertainment Talk. Today I want to talk about 911, which is, I think, TV's most underrated show currently. Not of all time, but currently. I'm your host, Matthew, and yeah, I just wanted to take an opportunity today to talk about 911, which airs on Fox in the US and airs on Sky Witness here in the UK. It used to be called Sky something else, but it airs over there in the UK. And it's in its third season. At least for the UK, it's heading towards its last few episodes for its third season, and I think it's the most underrated show on TV currently. Not of all time. There's probably shows that have been as good as this or better, maybe, and were still underrated. I'm not going to say the most underrated of all time, but currently, when I look at what's on TV at the moment, which some people don't think is very much, but there's still an awful lot on television, even with the pandemic and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this isn't kind of as of 2020. TV's most underrated show. I look back on these 3 seasons of this show, or at least the two in some of the third season that we've had so far. I can't really recall or think of a bad episode this show had. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say the show's perfect. No piece of media is perfect. Some people disagree, but that I think we can all kind of agree, or most of us can agree, that's kind of the case. But yeah, just look back on what the show's been able to pull off on a network TV channel and all that with Fox, and it's been really, really surprising. I look sometimes at some of the other procedurals that are on TV, and some of them are kind of just, you can really feel that they're on a network, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying that shows on networks can't succeed. You've got some really, really great stuff out there, but network TV is kind of looked down on these days sometimes as like cheap television in a way. But yeah, this show certainly succeeds at what it tries to do. It's also quite surprising in a way because going along with network TV, again, sometimes there's not quite so much money there. And you look at all the massive set pieces that this show's done, and none of them have felt cheap. All of them have felt really, really good, and like the show's been taken care of, and it's actually been able to pull off some of these really big things. I mean, you've had hurricanes, you've had house disasters, you had an accident with a plane recently as well. You've had some massive, massive things that have like destroyed some of the cities and other things like that. And yeah, it's just really, really surprising. I wasn't really. I remember when I kind of started watching the show, and I wasn't really expecting, to be honest, quite a grand scale of what this show's been able to pull off, and it's surprising in every good way that you can kind of think of, I suppose. But you know, the show's not all about just doing big grand stories, and usually it's with sometimes the closing of the season and sometimes the opening of the season, like this season of opening of this season particularly. I'm not going to have any spoilers in this podcast, by the way, just to kind of let you all know. I would have said that up front if there was going to be spoilers. I just want to kind of talk about the show in general, talk about some of the characters and what the show's been able to achieve, and yeah, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's surprising what this show's been able to pull off. And like I said, this show isn't about just doing massive scale episodes of these big disasters and like helping people from that and stuff. This show's got some really, really great characters. I'm just going to go through the cast list here and talk about some of these. So some of these actors are slightly less known, some of them are more known. First up, Angela Bassett as Athena Grant, one of the leading, I'm not sure who is the leading actress of the show, but it might be her. But one of the leading ladies of the show does a really, really great job in this. And it's interesting as well because obviously I've seen most of the seasons of American Horror Story, not all of them, and she's been in quite a lot of them. Seeing her range of kind of acting, of going from, you know, a somewhat at times silly, well, both Ryan Murphy shows as well, a somewhat silly horror show which manages to pull off some good stuff but is sometimes silly as well with American Horror Story, and then just this at times really quite serious medical emergency kind of procedural or police procedural kind of show. I mean, it doesn't just cover police, this show. It covers fire department and ambulance and, well, all three of the kind of big ones, I suppose. She's one of the leading police detectives. And she does a really great job in the show as well. Athena's a great character. I care about all of these characters that I'm about to read out. And she does a really great job as well. Oliver Stark, who might be slightly more unknown to some people, he plays Evan Buckley, one of the more hot-headed characters in the show, but he's quite cool as well. You've got Peter Krause as Bobby Nash. I don't recall seeing him too much before this show. He's been really good in certain things as well. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's probably as well one of the most known actors from the show as well. Done a lot of work. Of course, she's been around for a bit of time and stuff. She plays Madeline. She was introduced, if I remember, in season 2, so that was cool. Ashia Hines plays Henrietta. She's a really cool character, so she's great as well. Ryan Guzman, Edmund Eddy. Yeah, you got Kenneth Choi, who plays Howie in the show as well, so he's pretty cool as well. So yeah, so really great characters. They're all acted really well by the people that obviously portray them. Yeah, so that's really good as well. So one area where the show really does quite well as well is with the emotional stuff. Can sometimes pull a gut punch, and what's interesting as well about the show is obviously it has drama around the main characters and things that happen to those and those sorts of things. I can't really get into any of them because that would be some spoiler territory, but some big stuff obviously happens to the main characters in the show. But one of the show's biggest strengths as well is what I could only really describe as red shirt characters. These, everyday people that just have accidents, and obviously these guys and girls, women, have to go and obviously save them. Part of the whole thing. And usually the show does mostly from what I remember, start off with one of those things. You often start off with like a 911 kind of call and that sort of thing, and you always root for these characters to survive. Sometimes you don't know their names, but it's kind of always the situation around it. And it's not just about, okay, you want these people to live because one, they're innocent, nice people and stuff, and you want them to live, but it's also, we see our favorite characters in the show go and help them, and you want them to succeed as well. So it's both a combination of those two things, and you get into some really dangerous situations, obviously, and you think about that. Okay, how is this character going to get out of this situation? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes characters do die on the show, and it is really sad, especially one particular event this season.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Donnie, and I host the Adulting with Donnie podcast. And this is not the show to listen to if you're trying to be a better adult. I started this podcast as a way to offload some thoughts that I have throughout the week. My topics vary widely every week. Movies I've seen, guns and gun control, sex, people that are stupid, why I don't care about celebrity opinions, TV shows, snowmobiling. The list goes on and on. I'm always taking topic suggestions from fans of the show too. So join me each week on Adulting with Donnie as I pour some bourbon and allow you to see the inner workings of the mind of a madman. Live free and rant hard.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
Today's sponsor is Kualu. If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Yeah, even with some of the smaller scale stuff or some of the sillier stuff, it's pretty heartbreaking and sometimes heartwarming at the same time. Sometimes as well, I mean, I've spoken a lot about, the tragedies that the show kind of goes through with some of its characters and some of the heartwarming and heartbreaking kind of stuff. The show's pretty good at comedy as well, and it slots it in at the right times. It has banter between, banter's a very English word to use, it has sort of banter or friendly sort of, that sort of stuff between the main characters. That's really, really good. And it's funny as well because sometimes when these people, the firefighters and the police people and whatever from the show, are in the middle of helping some of these people, sometimes the character that they're helping will do something odd or something weird or something funny, and sometimes our characters, while still very much concentrating on their job, will have like a small little chat about it, just a very small little chat, or they'll make a little comment or something, and it's really, really good how, sometimes that does just turn into a comedic moment, and it really works. And sometimes it's like, okay, this person's in serious danger, we're not going to have as much of the chitter-chatter kind of stuff, or not even like, I'm not talking about full-on 10-minute conversations, I'm talking about like comments between a few of them, but these characters are still very much, on the ball, so to speak, as to, okay, if something does go sideways, they cut out that sort of those comments or whatever, and they focus 100% on the job. And the show is really good at balancing that as well. So I don't mean to make it sound like some sort of emergency services comedy show. It's not anywhere near something like that. But sometimes there's just these little comedic moments or comedic lines that are kind of thrown in, and it's great at doing that. And then sometimes the show will have really dramatic times where these characters are in severe danger, maybe they don't survive, and it's really sad and heartbreaking, and the show's really good at doing that. So that's another one of its great qualities. But if you want to watch the show, because obviously I'm sitting here recommending it to you, it's just an incredible show, I think. But you can only unfortunately currently watch season 3 on Now TV or Sky at the moment. It does have that third season going at the moment. There is the 911 Lone Star, but I haven't seen any of that, so I can't recommend or not recommend it, because I haven't got a clue how good it is or whatever at the moment. But certainly in terms of the main show, I'd definitely recommend it. In the US, it's available on Fox. I don't know if it will be on the Fox app or if it will be on Hulu, or I don't know where it would necessarily be, but it's on Fox if it does have something on the app. But just check your streaming services. They might be on some of them because there's obviously a number of streaming services these days. I'd say a good bet is possibly Hulu, because they often do have a lot of on-demand stuff from what I hear. Obviously we don't have Hulu in the UK, but go and check the show out. It's brilliant. It's heartwarming, heartbreaking, funny, great characters, great character development. Like I said, I mean, I can't remember all of the previous seasons, but I don't remember a bad episode from the show. I can't think of one necessarily off the top of my head. The show's very, very well paced. It's just brilliant. It really, really is. I look forward to it every single week. This is one of them shows as well. I remember when I got to episode 10, because usually to me, no show out there needs more than 10 episodes. This is one of them kind of shows where, because this season I think it's got 18 episodes, I don't mind. I really don't mind that it's got so many episodes. I'd probably watch this as like a full 23 episode season, and it's not really, because the funny thing is, this isn't one of them, because usually why I would say, okay, 10 episodes is great fit for a season. It gives you a good length to tell a nice, tight, well-paced, consistent story. 911 doesn't really need to do that. It's strange in a way, because you would kind of think that, okay, start telling the more the plot and get through more of it and stuff, but Just the one other comment I was going to kind of make was, because this obviously has some, weekly procedural elements, and it's also got some, serialized stuff and things like that. It's got a through line, and it's got, the people they help of the week. I can't say villain of the week because that's not the situation. The people every week that they kind of help, usually at the start of the episodes. It's got a perfect blend of that, of the right amount of, like, again, random people they kind of save and stuff, and the right amount of through line story. It's perfect to that, and it just, for some reason, I can't exactly even pinpoint why it is necessarily, but for some reason, I don't mind that this show's got like 18 episodes. I'd watch a full 23 episode season of this show once a year. I would easily do that, because they just kind of go week to week, and just, you're always interested in, okay, who are the people going to be they're going to help, and what situation are they going to be in, how are they going to get them out of it, and then, okay, let's get back to telling the story of these characters and pushing them forward and progressing them. And it's just phenomenal at doing that. It really, really is. So anyway, I think I've talked up the show enough and given my recommendation. Again, Fox for the US. I'm not sure of outside of, US and UK. I'm really not sure, but just go and have a look on your streaming services and see if you can find it. Unfortunately, at the moment in the UK, you can't watch it from the start, but I don't know, maybe it's on Amazon or something like that. I'm really not sure, so just have a look on your streaming services and see if you can find it. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. Again, it's called 911. It's got like dashes in between the nines and stuff, and in between the one and whatever, so go and have a look for it. Go and watch it. I highly recommend it. So go and have a look out for that. In the meantime, in terms of our other stuff, you can find everything that we've got on entertainmenttalk.org. If you want to support the podcast and Entertainment Talk, we are on Patreon. You can have a look at the $1 and $3 level tiers. That's for review options, ad-free podcast, and instant podcast options as well. Amazon affiliate link. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, we can get a small cut of what you spend. It won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds, please have a look at those, rate, review and subscribe. Just search for Entertainment Talk on your podcast platforms. You can also find David on there through Geektown, if you search for Geektown on your favourite podcast platform. You can also look for geektown.co.uk. That's for your up-to-date, reliable TV and film news. I'm pretty sure the show's already been renewed for Season 4 as well. I'm pretty sure it has. I can't remember 100%, but I'm sure it has. But anyway, it does pretty well for Fox, so it should be good. Plus they're doing a spin-off, so yeah, it's obviously been somewhat of a success. Word of mouth. You can tell people that Geektown. Geektown Radio is on Tuesdays. That's both on iTunes, Geektown Radio on iTunes and or geektown.co.uk. Word of mouth, you can simply tell people that you know about the website and the iTunes feed, all that stuff. That really helps us out as well. Social media, obviously Facebook and Twitter and different Facebook groups if you can. Streaming, I'm streaming currently on Twitch as well for Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and a bunch of different stuff. Let's Play Sundays will be back soon as well, so have a look out for those. Thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.